These are the most terrifying planets ever discovered.
Let's start with the ones that are terrifying and work our way towards the ones that are hellish nightmares. Number 7, the burning ice planet.
This is the least terrifying one! What even is that?
Planets you will ever hear about. A hot Neptune gas giant that orbits very close to its star and is about 4 times Earth's radius. But let's talk about what makes this planet so terrifying. It is believed that the planet's entire surface is covered in extremely hot ice, capable of reaching temperatures above 800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hot ice. Hot ice that is hot. Ice that is hot.
Okay, yep, no, I'm not in, this is freaking me out. I don't like it anymore.
Now, I know that sounds confusing and makes no sense, but don't worry. Lucky for you guys, I know how to read. So let me break this down a bit further. This bizarre superheated ice is formed by the planet's immense atmospheric pressure, not by cold. But instead of me just rambling off facts and telling you about these terrifying planets, let's make this a bit more fun. I will be placing you on each of these planets so we can see exactly what would happen to a human under these extreme conditions. Let's begin.
I'm all right. Can I actually veto that? Am I allowed to not see what happens? He said it's due to a lot of pressure though, so I don't even think that we would freeze. I think we would just get squished by the pressure. That's my guess.
We're now in a modern spaceship and are just about to enter Gliese 436b's atmosphere. A terrible decision. Instantly, the spaceship begins to overheat and its structural components start to deform, thanks to the planet's atmosphere being primarily made of heated helium and hydrogen. Around the 30-second mark, things can go one of 2 ways. The ship could be crushed from the increasing pressure, or the entire ship could vaporize from the blazing heat.
I'll take option 1, I guess. I'm not sure. We need a third option. Those 2 are unacceptable.
Congratulations. You survived anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds. But for the sake of the video, let's say you were in an indestructible spacecraft and managed to safely land on the planet's icy surface. What would you experience then? As you step out of the ship, all the moisture in your body instantly flash boils, then vaporizes, leaving you dead within a couple of seconds. Let's try that again, but this time you're wearing an indestructible spacesuit. As you step out of the ship, you see the glowing ice-covered surface, and you feel the spacesuit vibrate from the high winds. You look up and are greeted with a dark black-red sky.
Oh god,
powerful
so
lightning
scary.
storms light up the atmosphere, revealing the enormous and violent storms all around you.
Okay, I'm sorry. How does it get any worse than this? How is this the least worst of them all? This is worse than the upside down from Stranger Things. It's not even close.
Honestly, it's a pretty chill experience compared to what's to come.
I can't even fathom what might be next. On that planet, the entire like it's red. When you look up, the sky's not blue, it's red. And there's tornadoes and lightning storms, and it's hot, but it's cold, and there's pressure. What is worse than that?
Number 6, the terrifying gas planet. HD 80606b is yet another horrifying planet. A hot Jupiter gas giant with a wildly elongated orbit that is about 11 times larger than Earth's radius. The reason why this planet is so scary has to do with its incredibly wild temperature swings as it goes from deep space to nearly touching its star.
What?
When the planet is closest to its star, the temperature goes from around 450 to over 2000 degrees Fahrenheit in just 6 hours. Now, I know it's hard to visualize these numbers, so let me put it in a way we can all understand. 450 degrees cooks a beautiful pizza, while 2000 degrees cooks a terrible pizza.
Actually a great way to think of it. I never put things in terms of pizzas. I'm gonna start using pizzas as my reference for my metaphors moving forward.
But let the simulation begin. You are back in a modern-day spaceship and are about to enter the planet's atmosphere. Of course, you will be entering the planet at its hottest. As you enter, the ship's speed instantly begins to accelerate at incredible speeds thanks to the planet's gravitational pull. Within seconds, the outside of the ship's temperature rises over 7,000 degrees, which begins to erode the craft's heat shield. Around the 30-second mark, you begin to descend past violent storms, high winds, and violent jet streams as pieces of your ship melt and vaporize. Around 60 seconds, the hull begins to deform and eventually implode due to the ever-increasing atmospheric pressure, which means you have imploded as well. Congratulations, you survived an entire minute, a new personal best.
Yeah, wait, that's better than the last one. There, all right, I'd rather live there. I get an extra like 30 seconds, and you can do a lot in 30 seconds.
Let's try that again, but this time you invested in Bitcoin at 10 cents and were able to purchase an indestructible spacecraft. So what would happen if you were to step out of the ship at the planet's buoyancy point wearing no protective gear? In less than a millisecond after the hatch opens, you would be crushed to a pulp, then completely vaporized into the metallic ocean. Now, for that one person at NASA who accidentally let this video autoplay, I got you. If you were to step outside the ship, this time wearing a modern-day NASA spacesuit, you would be crushed to a pulp, then completely vaporized. This is because the atmosphere is millions to hundreds of millions of times more pressurized than Earth's, and oceans made of metal are apparently very hot.
There's a million times more pressure there than here.
What does that mean? Like you're just like, you know what I'm saying? Like what does that much pressure mean?
The most pressure I've ever had in my life was in the 2nd grade when I auditioned for the lead role of our
Play. And in that moment, I crumbled. I peed my pants,
and I was wearing gray sweatpants. I'll never forget it. And I ran to the nurse's office in the middle of my audition.
If we're talking that amount of pressure is what this planet is, I'm cooked.
But this time you're wearing an indestructible and highly advanced spacesuit. What would you experience then? As you exit the spaceship, you instantly lose sight of it in the hazy, glowing, infinite ocean. You no longer know up from down as you float suspended in the endless abyss.
So he said the oceans are metal, but metals are solid. But I guess on this planet they're liquid. What?
Nowhere, electrical currents trickle around you.
Oh, Jesus.
Giving off light, if only for a second. An absolute nightmare. Permanently stuck playing an ocean level.
I mean, this one has a dragon in it. I see a dragon right there. All right, that can't be real. What is this one?
Disappearing planet. Cororo 7b is one of the hottest rocky planets ever discovered. A rocky super Earth, approximately 70% larger in radius than Earth. Now, what makes this planet so terrifying is its extreme proximity to its star, as it is 60 times closer to its sun than Earth is. It is also tidally locked, meaning that the same side is always facing its star, creating a lava ocean on one side and a dark rocky oven inferno on the other. The planet reaches temperatures up to 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is so hot that its rocky surface is literally evaporating into space, slowly shrinking the planet. Here's what would happen if you were to enter the planet's atmosphere with this state-of-the-art spacecraft. Instantly, the craft's heat shield reaches over 7,000 degrees and begins to erode rapidly. Within 20 seconds, the craft's outer shell begins to crack and melt, destroying insulation and causing the inside of the ship's temperature to quickly rise, baking you alive. Within 30 to 45 seconds, the entire ship is shredded to pieces, then quickly vaporized with no traces of its existence left behind. But let's say you were in an indestructible ship and managed to land on the planet's surface. What would happen then? As the hatch opens, your eyes, skin, and organs would vaporize in seconds before you ever felt a thing.
That's honestly not that bad. Like, maybe this is like too soon, but you guys remember like 2 years ago or whatever, the submarine that imploded? Obviously, that's tragic and really, really sad, but apparently everyone died like instantly, which is kind of scary to think about that like that's possible to just die instantly. Like I could be mid-sentence right now and next thing I know, I'm dead.
Try that again, but this time you're in an indestructible and highly advanced spacesuit. As you step out of the ship, you're instantly blinded by the sun, since it's 360 times larger than our sun from Earth.
Oh
Luckily,
my God.
you would be able to walk on the lava ocean since molten rock is incredibly dense. It would feel like walking on burning tar that clings to your feet with every step you take, turning the fun outdoor adventure into an exhausting workout. But if you were lucky enough to spawn on the dark side of the planet, you would actually be able to walk around freely on solid ground. Well, at least when you're not busy being tossed hundreds of feet into the air by the planet's violent and powerful winds. Number 4. WASP-127b. WASP-127b is yet another incredibly horrifying planet, a gas giant that is about 15 times Earth's radius. One of the many reasons why this planet is so terrifying is that it currently holds the record for the highest winds ever recorded.
I was gonna say, just looking at it, like right here, it looks like there's just winds going whoosh, 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 like all the way around the planet. Maybe on the tops and bottoms is kind of chill, but gas giants, in my opinion, are the coolest planets by far. They look so awesome. And I have a theory that probably is proven or like has been discussed somewhere, but I've been too lazy to look it up. But why, at least in our solar system, are all the gas giants so late in the solar system? Like, what happens between Mars and Jupiter to where after Mars it's all gas giants and before Jupiter it's all like solid rock planets? What happens? That can't be a coincidence that the last 4 planets are gaseous and the first 4 are solid. What the heck happened?
For reference, the highest non-tornadic wind speed ever recorded on Earth is approximately 250 miles per hour,
really fast.
which is strong enough to send a human hundreds of feet into the air. Neptune, which has the highest winds in our solar system, has winds that reach as high as 1,500 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound, and almost 4 times faster
insane.
than the winds of Jupiter's red spot.
Wow.
Winds this high would obliterate you on contact,
Wow.
reducing your body to a cloud of vaporized tissue. But get this, WASP 127b has a recorded wind speed of over 20,500 miles per hour. A regular person hit by a wind force this strong would be completely erased from existence instantaneously. But okay, let's say you manage to
Here
enter
we
the
go
planet's
again.
atmosphere with a modern spacecraft. Within 5 to 10 seconds, the craft's heat shield is destroyed by the thick metal-rich atmosphere. Around the 15-second mark, the craft and everything inside is torn apart and swept into the jet stream. The craft and your body are shredded, scattered, and absorbed into the winds, erased so completely that it's as if you were never there.
In the center of gaseous planets, is there not like a core? There's got to be a core, right? It can't just be gas in there too, because there'd be way too much pressure. There's so much pressure that surely it forms some sort of ball. But if there is some sort of like actual ball in the middle, wouldn't the winds like destroy it? Like 20,000 mile per hour winds, that would destroy like anything. Over time, at least. That's insane. Unless it's made of like pure titanium steel. Maybe then it doesn't get destroyed. I don't know.
Fun. Let's say you were a storm chaser with tech so advanced, you could fly into these storms in an indestructible spacecraft and stepped out in an indestructible spacesuit. Well, you would
You're
instantly be taken
flying.
by the wind and crushed inside of the suit from the extreme G-forces, separating soft tissue from the bones.
Oh my God,
Obviously,
so
the suit
gross.
still needs a bit of work. Number 3, the Iron Rain Furnace. WASP 76b is a terrifying...
Why do they name all the terrifying ones wasp? I mean, wasps are very terrifying in general, like the bee thing. But now they're making it even worse by naming these nightmarish planets after them.
hot Jupiter gas giant, infamous for its molten iron rain and winds that reach over 10,000 miles per hour. The planet is massive, nearly twice the size of Jupiter's radius and around 20 times Earth's. The planet is also so close to its star that it's tidally locked. One side is forever scorched by intense heat, while the other remains a dark, hellish landscape lit only by its molten iron rain. But let's say you were placed in charge of a modern spacecraft and enter the planet's atmosphere on its sunny side. The craft will immediately report temperatures hotter than molten lava. Around the 3-second mark, the heat begins to destroy the craft's heat shield thanks to the iron vapor in the atmosphere. And around the 5 to 10 second mark, the craft's entire structure begins to melt, which includes you. Around the 20-second mark, the entire craft and you are nothing but debris taken by the high winds, which eventually get so hot that they vaporize, leaving no traces of your existence. Since I've already covered what would happen if you exited a ship at the buoyancy point of a gas planet, let's switch it up a bit. This time, you're an adrenaline junkie looking for your next fix, so you'll be skydiving into the planet and gulping down some air.
Yeah, this is
Within a
smart.
fraction of a second, you're incinerated. Now, just because I know you're wondering, let's say you skydived on the dark side of the planet away from its sun. Within a fraction of a second, your skin and eyes flash boil, your lungs and organs collapse under the atmospheric pressure, and as your body is ragdolled across the sky, molten iron rain sears through your crushed...
Yeah, the molten rain is pretty bad. I was low-key literally about to say the first planet still scares me the most because, well, it's terrifying. It's red skies with lightning and tornadoes everywhere. But I think molten rain takes the crown here. That does seem pretty scary.
In 1 to 2 seconds, the scorching winds shred you into tiny pieces, which quickly sizzle into vapor carried away by the storm. So, a bit better this time. But let's say you exited the craft wearing an indestructible spacesuit and decided to skydive into the planet. What would you experience then? As you freefall through thin gas clouds, your descent quickly increases in speed. A few minutes later, the sky shifts into a glowing orange haze as you continue passing through thick vapors in the atmosphere. Out of nowhere, your body is violently spun and tossed in random directions as supersonic winds slam into you. That's when the noise of the storm roars all around you, as if you were inside a massive hurricane. Lightning storms arc overhead, exposing the alien metallic clouds in the environment. Around this point, you will see the infamous molten iron rain, spreading as far as your eyes can see.
I love how bro's just chilling here. He's like, yeah, I've been here before. I know what's happening. He's got about 10 seconds to live before he's fully cooked.
As you continue to fall deeper into the atmosphere, light fades, sounds disappear, as you are submerged deeper into the reflective ocean of metallic hydrogen. Once you finally reach the planet's core, you will be completely surrounded by what looks like a glowing fog made of superheated matter. Your final resting place.
At least you can survive. That's pretty sick. That's cool. I was gonna say though, like if he just stayed in that dark void forever, that's a nightmare. That would have been the scariest one for sure. I don't like the idea of like voids. Like outer space freaks me out a lot. I don't even like thinking about it. And like being in the middle of the ocean, for example, that freaks me out. I don't even like thinking about that at all either. Now that's not even technically a void.
2. The planet being eaten alive. Wasp
God.
12b is one of the most unique and terrifying planets ever discovered. This is what the planet looks like. Disgusting. The reason it looks so ugly and deformed is that it's currently in a death spiral with its star, slowly being eaten alive. A visible trail of gas can be seen feeding the nearby star. Its close proximity to its star also means it's tidally locked, so one side is forever scorched with radiation and heat, while the other is forever scorched with radiation and heat, but also completely dark. The planet is a hot Jupiter gas giant that is almost twice the radius of Jupiter and nearly 22 times Earth's. But let's get to the good stuff. Let's say you were to enter the planet's atmosphere on the ugly deformed side. Well, surprisingly, you would still be pulled towards the planet rather than the star, since at this range the planet's gravitational pull is much stronger. The moment you enter, the craft's heat shield begins to glow from the intense heat, and the temperature inside quickly begins to skyrocket as well. Around the 5 to 20 second mark, winds as high as 1,000 miles per hour slam into the craft, vaporizing the craft's shielding at incredible speed. Then around the 20 to 60 second mark, the entire ship is fully consumed, shredded apart into molten debris as the metal becomes liquid before everything eventually vaporizes.
So to be clear, on not a single one of these planets do you survive like 30 seconds, realistically. It's probably even less if I had to guess.
Let's try again, but this time you've entered the cheat code Indestructible Spacecraft. And instead of exiting at the planet's atmosphere, buoyancy point, or core, you will be exiting here, right at the center of the planet and its star. Time to find out whether you would go towards the star or towards the planet.
It's gotta be the star,
and
bro. It's gotta be the star. It's a million times bigger. And if you're right in the middle, it's definitely the star.
2, 1, go.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, try again, but this time we're shedding the bulk and heavy weight of the ship, only wearing a light and indestructible spacesuit. Where would you go then?
It's the same thing. Why would that change anything?
And 3...
Am I stupid?
2,
it's the star.
1, go.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you head towards the star again. That should have been really, really obvious.
I mean, really what actually would have happened is you probably just would have exploded on the spot or, you know, melted, whatever.
Number 1, the glass storm planet.
See, this is what I'm talking about. So far, every single planet has been like lava and heat and pressure. This one looks different though. This one looks very cold. A nice little switcheroo for the final planet.
HD 189733b is a hellish planet that is worse than any nightmare you could ever possibly dream of.
It looks habitable though. Like it looks like it has oceans and an atmosphere, but I guess it's like a lot of women. They look pretty and then you get to know them and then they stab you in the heart. And then you can never forgive yourself. And then they make you think about her for years and years and years and then they move on to another man while you're stuck in your friend's basement wondering what you did wrong. I'm just kidding, guys. That's not me, totally.
Planet is enormous, around 15 times Earth's radius. From the outside looking in, it appears to be a larger version of Earth, covered with beautiful tropical beaches. But I guess it's time to find out what would happen if you were to enter this planet's atmosphere. You are back in a modern-day spacecraft and have just entered what you thought was a vacation getaway. Instantly, the ship begins to glow due to the high heat of the atmosphere, a great sign that you picked the right day to go to the beach. Around the 5-second mark, the craft's heat shield begins to warp, melt, and vaporize. 10 seconds in, supersonic winds slam into the craft as molten glass particles in the atmosphere shred the craft to tiny pieces. Within 20 to 30 seconds, the tiny pieces of the craft and you are completely vaporized and carried away by the wind. It turns out that the planet isn't a giant ocean of water. It's almost entirely made up of scorching hot hydrogen and helium, reaches a whopping 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit, has stronger winds than Neptune, and even rains molten glass sideways.
That's just so rude. That's so rude. It's so inviting. It's like, look at me. I'm a nice big blue ocean. I'm safe. I have life. And then like once you get close and near and dear to it, you're dead. It's too late. Can't turn around. Your entire life is literally over. GG.
Making it a horrible planet to vacation to. So you're probably wondering, why the hell is the planet blue if it wasn't meant to have any visitors? Well, that's because the planet's atmosphere contains tiny particles of glass, which are great at scattering blue light, making it the worst scam in the known universe. And another reason why it deserves the #1 spot. And yes, just like all gas planets, the simulation always ends the same. Instant vaporization anywhere on the planet, followed by suspended in the dark metallic oceans.
Now that we've seen the scariest planets in the universe, let's check out the scariest places in the entire universe.
The Boötes Void is one of the most mysterious and terrifying places in the known universe. Discovered in 1981 by astronomer Robert Kishner and his team during a redshift survey of the galaxies, the Boötes Void is an enormous region of space that is almost entirely empty. Located in the constellation of Boötes, it lies approximately 700 million light-years away from Earth. What makes the Boötes Void so unsettling is its enormous scale and emptiness. Spanning roughly 330 million light-years in diameter, it is one of the largest known voids in the universe.
Wait, but I don't know if this is actually what it looks like, but as you can see, like when the stars in the background go behind it, they disappear. That makes me feel like it's a giant black cloud. But I don't know, maybe that's just something messed up with the graphic.
If the Milky Way galaxy were placed inside it, it would be alone, with no other galaxies visible for hundreds of millions of light-years in every direction. In total, the void contains far fewer galaxies than expected. Only about 60 have been found inside, compared to the thousands that should occupy a region of that size. The emptiness of the Boötes Void challenges our understanding of the large-scale structure of the cosmos.
Dude, it looks like a cloud, though. Like, is it not just a giant ball of gas, or is there really truly a void of nothingness? I don't even want to think about what that means.
It's often called the Great Nothing, due to how devoid of matter it is. Scientists believe it formed from gravitational effects early in the universe's history, possibly from the merging of smaller voids. However, some theorists have speculated that such vast emptiness could hint at an unknown cosmic phenomenon, or that we're seeing the limits of our observational understanding. Its haunting isolation and incomprehensible size are what make the Boötes Void one of the scariest places in the universe.
That is so weird. So is there nothing behind it then? Because I feel like when things are that far, our depth perception is like super skewed. Like all stars probably look like roughly the same size, I would imagine. But like if we look at that void and we don't see anything, it's just black, then wouldn't that mean like foreverness is just black and darkness? Like there's never anything ever.
It's a reminder that the cosmos isn't just filled with stars and galaxies, but also with vast, lonely stretches of absolute nothingness. Places where time and light seem to vanish into silence. The Eridanus Supervoid is one of the most eerie and mysterious structures in the known universe. First identified in 2004 through observation of the Cosmic Microwave Background, CMB, the afterglow of the Big Bang, astronomers noticed a strange cold spot in the sky in the direction of the constellation Eridanus. Further investigation revealed that this region is not just cold, but also vastly underpopulated with galaxies, forming what's now known as the Eridanus Supervoid.
So the image that they show in the top left there, that looks like a black hole to me. And I'm no expert, so I feel like all of my theories will hold no weight to them at all. But what if it's just a super giant, insanely massive black hole that's just been sucking and sucking and sucking for billions of years? And now when we look at it, we're like, okay, there's nothing there, it's a void. But no, in reality, it's a super massive black hole that we think is void because there's no light coming from it, but that is because it's a black hole. Is that a stupid theory? I don't know.
Located about 1.3 billion light years away, this massive cosmic void spans roughly
like
1 billion light years across.
One way to tell like a black hole is the matter around it, like if it's getting distorted, which this clearly is. Am I stupid for thinking that's just a giant black hole?
Making it one of the largest known voids in the universe. It is characterized by an extreme lack of galaxies, stars, and matter. In comparison to other voids, which are common in the large-scale structure of the cosmos, the Eridanus Supervoid stands out due to its immense size and connection to the unusually cold region of the CMB. Some scientists believe it may explain the so-called cold spot in the CMB, but even that explanation is controversial. Others have speculated more wildly that it could be evidence of a collision with another universe, or a sign of physics beyond our current understanding. Its enormous scale and isolation stir existential dread, reminding us how little we truly understand about the universe. Cosmos filled with matter, energy, and vibrant galaxies, the Eridanus Supervoid is a silent and unsettling exception. A lonely expanse where even light seems to dim and vanish. It's one of the scariest places in the universe precisely because we don't fully know why it exists at all. The Great Attractor is one of the most mysterious and unsettling phenomenon in the observable universe. It was first discovered in the 1970s and 1980s when astronomers noticed that our galaxy, the Milky Way, along with hundreds of thousands of other galaxies, were being pulled towards a specific region of space at immense speeds, roughly 600 kilometers per second. But what was doing the pulling remained hidden.
We just moved 2,400 kilometers. I think I have heard of this theory before, but it's essentially just like everything in the universe is like moving in one direction.
Obscured by the dense stars and dust of our own galaxy in an area called the Zone of Avoidance. The Great Attractor lies about 150 to 250 million light years away,
right?
In the direction of the constellation Norma, near the center of the Laniakea supercluster, which includes the Milky Way. Despite its massive influence, it cannot be directly observed with visible light, adding to its eerie allure. It appears to be a gravitational anomaly, an unseen mass exerting a powerful gravitational pull on everything in the region. What makes the Great Attractor so terrifying is not just its invisibility, but also what it implies, that there are massive structures in the universe that we cannot see or fully understand.
I just got the chills, bro. I hate that. I actually don't really want to think about it.
Yet they shape the motion of entire galaxies. Later research suggests the Norma cluster, a massive collection of galaxies, is a major component of it. But the full extent of what's behind the Great Attractor's pull remains unknown. Even more unsettling, some scientists believe the Great Attractor may itself be moving toward an even more massive structure
called
the Shapley supercluster.
Are you kidding me?
With that being said, the Great Attractor is a reminder that the universe is not only vast and violent, but also filled with unseen forces that tug at everything, including us, drawing entire galaxies into the unknown. The event horizon of a black hole is one of the most terrifying frontiers in the universe, a cosmic point of no return. The concept was first developed in the early 20th century following Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity.
Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the things that are said about black holes are pure speculation. I'm not even sure that all scientists even agree that black holes exist. I don't have an opinion. I don't really know. I just know I've read like so many different theories of what a black hole is. A lot of people think it's a wormhole, for example. There's scientists, like I said, who don't even believe that they're real, but apparently they like destroy any idea of what we know of physics to even be.
And later refined by physicists like Carl Schwarzschild,
That guy looks
who
awesome.
mathematically described the radius around a black hole where nothing can escape, not even light. The event horizon isn't a physical surface, but a boundary in space, Once something crosses this invisible line, it is inevitably pulled towards the black hole's center or singularity by immense gravitational forces. No single object can escape past this threshold, meaning anything that falls in is lost to the observable universe forever. Event horizons exist around all black holes, whether they are stellar mass black holes scattered throughout the galaxy or supermassive black holes. From the outside of them, time appears to stop at the edge. From the inside, space and time distort beyond comprehension. An
Allegedly.
object falling in would be stretched by spaghettification.
Allegedly. This is all theory. This is all theoretical. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that there's a bunch of other theories out there. I'm no professional. Never heed my advice in anything that I say ever.
Pulled apart by tidal forces as it heads towards the singularity. We've never observed an event horizon directly until 2019, when the Event Horizon Telescope captured the shadow of the one in Miser 87, a galaxy 53 million light-years away. The event horizon symbolizes the edge of known physics, a boundary where our understanding breaks down. It's a reminder that the universe harbors places where even light, information, and the laws of nature themselves are erased.
I'm so dumb that I don't even understand. Like, I don't get how light travels through space. Is that like a crazy thing to say or no? Because like, there's nothing in space.
Black hole, known as the Singularity, is arguably the most terrifying and mysterious place in the entire universe. While the concept of black holes was first predicted by Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity in 1915, the singularity itself emerged as a key idea in the 1960s through the work of physicists like Roger Penrose and Stephen Hawking. A singularity is a point where matter is crushed into infinite density and the laws of physics, as we know them, break down completely. The singularity lies at the very heart of a black hole, hidden beneath the event horizon, the boundary beyond which nothing, not even light, can escape. From the outside, a black hole may appear as a dark, invisible sphere, but deep within it is the singularity, a place where gravity is so intense that time and space cease to function normally. Singularities exist all across the universe, typically at the centers of black holes formed by the collapse of massive stars.
Wait, so there can be singularities that are not black holes? What? It's not like a singularity essentially is a black hole. It's just like the core of it. It's the core of a black hole. But then you're saying that there's also singularities that have no black hole around them. So there's just a little demon singularity out there floating, but it's not a black hole. So what does it look like? What is it?
What makes the singularity so frightening is our utter lack of understanding. The laws of physics, including general relativity and quantum mechanics, cannot describe what happens at this point of infinite density. Time, space, and matter become meaningless. It's a cosmic mystery that no human, or even light, can ever witness directly. The singularity represents the ultimate unknown, a place where the universe turns inside out, where cause and effect may not apply, and where the very fabric of reality is torn apart. Sagittarius A star.
Okay. I'm just gonna start accepting everything that he says and try not to think about it too hard or else I'm gonna explode and cry. And I do not want to do either.
Is one of the most frightening and fascinating locations in the universe.
That's
It is a
picture.
supermassive black hole located at the very center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, and lies about 26,000 light-years from Earth in the direction of the Sagittarius constellation. Although the existence of something massive at the center of the galaxy has been suspected for decades, Sagittarius A star was first identified as a strong radio source in 1974 by astronomers Bruce Ballack and Robert Brown. It has a mass equivalent to about 4 million suns, compressed into an area no larger than our solar system. This enormous mass creates an intense gravitational field that pulls in everything nearby, including light. At its core is the event horizon, a point of no return. Anything that crosses it is swallowed forever, spiraling toward the unknown singularity within. For years, Sagittarius...
Hang on, what I don't understand about black holes, there's a couple things. One, why is it always like a specific circle around them that's being sucked? Like, why is it not the all around the black hole that things are just being sucked in? Number two, what is this relativistic jet? Is this getting pushed outward or inward? Because if it's getting pushed outward, I thought that's not possible. Or it's like once you cross the event horizon, then you can't get out. But like, how is anything escaping at all? Like, eventually it'll get sucked back in, right? How is that happening?
Forever, spiraling toward the unknown singularity within. For years, Sagittarius A star remained a mysterious, invisible monster. It wasn't until 2022 that scientists, using the Event Horizon Telescope, captured the first image of its shadow, confirming the presence of the supermassive
That's a terrible
black hole.
picture, though. Respectfully, like, I'm pretty sure that we spend trillions of dollars on this sort of stuff. For that? What did it do? I can't be convinced, bro. Like, what am I even looking at?
Sagittarius A star especially eerie is that it lurks quietly in the heart of our own galaxy. It's capable of devouring stars, planets, and potentially the entire solar system.
Those are like better
Fortunately,
images.
Earth is far enough away to be safe, for now. Sagittarius A star represents the limits of our understanding and the destructive power of gravity. Quasars are among the most powerful and terrifying objects in the universe.
I have learned about quasars before, and they're really, really cool. I actually just caught a Pokemon in my Cobblemon Let's Play, and it's a Galaxy Corydon, and so I named it Quasar because it's sick.
First discovered in the 1960s, quasars appear to be star-like points of light in the sky, but with one shocking difference. They emitted more energy than entire galaxies. The first quasar identified, 3C273, was found in 1963 by astronomer Martin Schmidt, revealing that these objects were not stars, but something far more extreme. A quasar is powered by a supermassive black hole at the center of a galaxy. As matter spirals toward the black hole, it heats up to millions of degrees, forming an accretion disk and blasting out enormous jets of energy across the cosmos. Quasars can emit radiation 1,000 times more powerful than the combined light of all the stars in the galaxy they reside in.
What,
These objects
bro?
are so bright they can be seen from billions of light years away, making them some of the most distant and ancient things we can observe.
That's insane.
What makes quasars so terrifying is their violent nature and scale. If one were anywhere near our galaxy, its radiation would strip atmospheres from planets and destroy any possibility of life. The jets they produce can stretch across millions of light years, tearing through interstellar space like cosmic blowtorches. Fortunately, quasars are mostly found in the early universe, meaning most are extremely far away, billions of light years from Earth.
I knew quasars were like scary and dangerous, but I hope that this is one of the things that in 100 years, we got it wrong. We were wrong about quasars. They're actually not that bad. I'm hoping.
Their existence is a reminder of what happens when gravity, matter, and energy collide on massive scales. Magnetars are some of the most terrifying objects in the universe.
I've never heard of that. I think I've heard of almost everything so far, if not everything. Because when I was a kid, I used to love outer space stuff, and then I kind of just grew out of it, I guess. I've never heard of a magnetar, though. What even is that? Looks like a jellyfish.
Deadly remnants of stars that possess magnetic fields so powerful they defy imagination.
Okay.
First theorized in the early 1990s, magnetars were confirmed through the observation of soft gamma repeaters, strange bursts of high-energy radiation that didn't fit into known categories. Astronomers realized they were witnessing something far more extreme than a typical neutron star. A magnetar is a type of neutron star formed when a massive star dies in a supernova explosion and its core collapses. What sets magnetars apart is their insane magnetic field, which can be a quadrillion times stronger than the Earth's. So strong that it could erase your credit card from thousands of kilometers away and tear atoms apart. Their magnetic fields twist and snap like cosmic rubber bands, releasing massive flares of X-rays and gamma rays in an instant. The most terrifying aspect of a magnetar is the destructive power it can unleash. A single flare from a magnetar could fry satellites, damage power grids, and even impact Earth's atmosphere if one were close enough. Fortunately, most known magnetars are located tens of thousands of light years away. One of the closest known magnetars, SGR 1806-20, is about 50,000 light years from Earth. Despite their distance, magnetars remain a threat. They're unpredictable, incredibly violent, and poorly understood. If one were to form too close to our solar system, it could unleash a burst of radiation strong enough to devastate life on Earth.
Why they gotta be so pretty, though? Why does everything in the universe that is so, like, cool looking and pretty looking also coincidentally insanely dangerous and deadly? I have always had a theory, though, that we, as a species, need to use magnets better. We need to become magnet people, okay?
Dark flow is one of the most mysterious and unsettling phenomenon in the cosmos. a strange motion of galaxy clusters that defies our understanding of how the universe should behave.
A side note, that's a great rapper's name. Dark Flow. Anyway.
It was first detected in 2008 by astronomers using data from NASA's Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe, the WMAP. Researchers noticed that massive clusters of galaxies appeared to be drifting in the same direction at high speeds, towards a specific region of the sky, without any visible cause. This unexplained motion was dubbed dark flow. What makes the dark flow so terrifying is that it suggests the presence of something enormous and completely unknown outside the observable universe. Galaxy clusters as far as 2.5 billion light-years away are all being pulled in the same direction, toward a region beyond the edge of what we can see. This hints at the possibility that something exists beyond the known cosmos, perhaps a massive structure or even another universe. The idea that there could be hidden influences beyond the observable universe challenges our understanding of cosmic inflation, the Big Bang, and the very fabric of space-time. Some theories suggest that the dark flow could be caused by a gravitational pull from a massive structure beyond our cosmic horizon, something we may never be able to observe directly. We don't know exactly where the dark flow is coming from or what's causing it, only that vast numbers of galaxies are being drawn toward a mysterious region of space at speeds exceeding 600 kilometers per second. The dark flow is terrifying because it represents a true unknown, evidence that the universe may be larger, stranger, and more dangerous than we ever imagined. It's like seeing the ripple of a wave and having no idea what caused it or how big the source might be.
That sounds a lot like the Attractor. Is that not just the Attractor? Maybe that's like his cousin. We have the Attractor and then we have Dark Flow. But that sounds very similar to that.
Black holes are one of the most terrifying phenomena in the universe.
Yeah.
Stealthy, invisible destroyers drifting through space with the power to annihilate everything in their path. These black holes are not anchored at the center of galaxies like supermassive black holes. Instead, they roam the cosmos alone, untethered and undetectable until it's far too late. While black holes themselves have been studied since the early 20th century, the idea of rogue black holes, those not bound to a galaxy, began gaining attention in the early 2000s through simulations and gravitational studies. Rogue black holes are thought to form when massive stars die in supernova, or when black holes are violently ejected from galactic centers due to collisions or gravitational interactions. Once free, they drift through interstellar space silently. Since black holes do not emit light, these rogue wanderers are nearly impossible to see unless they interact with matter or distort the space around them. What makes rogue black holes so frightening is their stealth. They could pass through a star system, tear apart planets, or even devour stars, and we might not detect them until the gravitational effects are already happening.
Sometimes I think about stuff like that. Obviously we're all dead, but it's like that. Like I'm recording this video right now, and I don't know, like a meteor could strike. Boom! Huge explosion, everyone and everything, and everyone you love is gone. Or like sun flares. Our sun does like these flares things that are super dangerous to Earth. If one actually gets through though, how are we supposed to stop a black hole? So there's nothing we can do anyway.
It's estimated that there could be millions of rogue black holes drifting through the Milky Way alone.
What?
In fact, in 2022, NASA confirmed the first possible detection of a rogue black hole about 5,000 light-years away using gravitational microlensing. Unlike black holes in known locations, rogue black holes could be anywhere, even heading towards us without warning.
There's millions?
They're terrifying because they combine the destructive power of black holes with complete unpredictability. They are, quite literally, death from the dark. Ton 618 is one of the most terrifying and awe-inspiring places in the known universe. It is a hyperluminous quasar powered by one of the largest and most massive black holes ever discovered.
Cool.
First identified in the 1950s as a faint blue star during a survey of blue stellar objects, Ton 618's true nature wasn't understood until decades later. In the 1970s, astronomers realized it was not a star but a quasar. What makes Ton 618 truly horrifying is the monstrous black hole at its core. Current estimates place its mass at around 66 billion times the mass of our Sun. To put that in perspective, the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, Sagittarius A star, is only about 4 million solar masses. Ton 618's black hole is so massive that it defies conventional models of how such objects form and grow. Ton 618 is located 10.4 billion light-years away from Earth, meaning we see it as it existed just a few billion years after the Big Bang. The light from this distant quasar has been traveling through space for most of the age of the universe. Despite this unimaginable distance, its brightness is so intense that it can still be observed from Earth with powerful telescopes. What makes Ton 618 so frightening is not just its mass or energy output, but what it represents: the potential for black holes of incomprehensible scale to exist. It devours matter at such a rate that it outshines entire galaxies, with jets of radiation that could obliterate anything nearby. Ton 618 is a reminder that the universe harbors entities so vast and powerful that they challenge our understanding of physics and make us feel infinitely small.
We've reacted to a lot of horror stuff, a lot of scary stuff on this channel. When I clicked on this video, I wasn't expecting to have any of those similar feelings that I get watching those. I think this is the scariest video I've ever watched in my whole life. Oh boy.
The observable universe is one of the most mysterious and chilling regions in all of existence. It is the boundary beyond which we can no longer see, simply because the light from those regions hasn't had enough time to reach us since the beginning of the universe. This concept was first understood in the mid-20th century, following the discovery of cosmic expansion and the Big Bang theory, which led scientists to realize that the universe has a finite observable limit. The edge isn't a physical wall, but a cosmic horizon, the limit of the visible universe. It lies approximately 46.5 billion light-years away in every direction. That's because while the universe is about 13.8 billion years old, space itself has been expanding faster than the speed of light, carrying galaxies away from us as their light.
Wait, how is that possible? Because nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, so how does that make any sense at all?
Towards us. What makes this boundary so terrifying is the unknown. Beyond it may lie countless more galaxies, perhaps even entirely different laws of physics, alternate universes, or the true scale of the cosmos, none of which we can observe or truly reach. Everything past the edge is forever invisible, cut off by the limits of light and time. Even more unsettling is that galaxies near the edge are moving away so quickly due to cosmic expansion that they will eventually disappear from view forever.
So they are moving faster than the speed of light. Pretty sure that's not possible, bud. Also, if things are moving away from you, does that mean that we see them in slow-mo? That's a thought.
Leaving us in a darkening universe. Over time, the cosmos may become lonelier and colder as light from distant objects fades into the void.
I am the universe.
The edge of the observable universe is terrifying because it forces us to confront cosmic isolation, the limits of human perception, and the vast unknown beyond our reach.
Space junk. As it turns out, our planet is not the only thing we treat like a giant trash can, since space is slowly becoming a giant landfill as well. There are currently millions of pieces of man-made junk in Earth's orbit, with over 30,000 of them being over 10 centimeters long, or around 4 inches.
I'm not understanding how this is scary at all. How would this ever impact my life?
Now, the reason why this is so scary is that the number of junk is only growing. But this really shouldn't worry you, since I'm sure we'll eventually get around to cleaning it, which usually only happens when it becomes a big enough problem that our government is forced to do something about it. You see, the growing amounts of space junk are becoming a major problem for space exploration and travel, and NASA has already had to course correct 32 times since 1999 to avoid satellites and space debris. Now, you're probably thinking, this is an issue that you will never have to worry about, since you never leave the house, let alone plan on traveling to space. But as it turns out, the space debris might just come to you. There have been many reports of large pieces of metal, spaceships, and satellites landing on people's property and homes. But I'm sure the majority of the pieces go unreported since they most likely land in the ocean.
How are we even throwing these things out in the first place? Is there some sort of garbage company that is sponsored by SpaceX and they just take your garbage and shoot it up out there? What is actually falling down? I think that he said like broken satellites and stuff, but why would we not repair them? Like satellites are like millions and millions, maybe billions of dollars to make. There's no way that we just leave them there to die, right?
Number 9. Cosmic voids. As we leave Earth's orbit and begin to look further out into the universe, we quickly begin to discover all sorts of terrifying things. But before we get to those, I want to focus on nothing. I literally mean nothing. You see, there are vast spaces in the universe that don't contain anything at all.
See, this type of stuff literally keeps me up at night. I don't think I should be watching this video because I'm already terrified of space. This probably happens once a month where I won't sleep for a couple hours because I just can't stop thinking about how small and unimportant we are in the grand scheme of like the universe. Like nothing matters. We are a speck of 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 a speck when it comes down to the universe. And the fact that like the universe is infinite, I can't even comprehend it, and that alone scares me to death.
No planets, no stars, no moons, no McDonald's,
Just void.
no asteroids, nothing. These empty spaces are known as cosmic voids, and in some cases they can be hundreds of millions of light years in diameter. This would create a long and lonely space trip for anything that decides to journey across them. Unless, of course, you were blessed with being an introvert, since we are completely immune to this weakness. Now, I know these large numbers are very hard to grasp, so let me just show you what this all looks like. Here's an illustration of the Virgo supercluster, which contains around 100,000 galaxies, including our home, the Milky Way. Now, let's zoom out and take a look at the areas here. These are cosmic voids. This particular one here is called Boötes Void, and is one of the largest voids in the known universe, spanning around 330 million light years wide. For perspective, the entire Milky Way galaxy, which is home to at least 100 billion planets, is 100,000 light years wide.
It's not even conceptual. Like those numbers, I get that they're big numbers, but I can't even fathom what that actually means. I understand the concept. It's 330 million light years wide. Okay, so that just means if you're traveling at the speed of light, it takes 330 million years to get to the other side. I understand what that means, but I can't even grasp how big that really is. Like, and that is what's scary to me.
Number 8, dead galaxies. Dead galaxies are
What?
galaxies that have run out of cold hydrogen gas, which is necessary to fuel stars and create new ones. These dead galaxies will be the first to become completely dark and lifeless, leaving behind a cold and lonely
Dude, no,
cemetery.
I hate that. Wait, how did we find them though if there's no light? Because isn't the only way we can see something from outer space is if there's light shining from it?
These galaxies appear red as they burn through their last remaining energy that they will ever have. Now
pretty
let's get
sad.
to the terrifying part. All galaxies, including our own, will eventually run out of energy, and it's hypothesized that the entire universe eventually will as well. A stage that is referred to as the Dark Era, and it's speculated to be the final state of the universe, leaving behind a cold and dark universe where light and energy cease to exist.
I heard a theory before that makes a lot of sense to me, is that eventually the entire universe will come all back together because everything has gravity. So eventually, like sure, everything is still expanding right now, but it's going to get to a point where it's expanding, and then eventually it's all going to come back together because of gravity, and then it'll all explode again, and that's like the whole cycle of it. I like that theory. I like that one.
Number 7. Planets. NASA estimates that there are at least 100 billion planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone, and over 6 sextillion planets in the observable universe. That's 21 zeros, by the
Okay.
way. Not that it even matters, since none of us could even come close to comprehending that. So instead, people try to visualize this by saying that there are more planets in the known universe than grains of sand on Earth. And for those of you that have never been to the beach, take it from someone who has. We still can't comprehend this number either. Now, we don't have to look far to find some truly terrifying planets, since we have a few of them here in our own solar system. But let's just take a look at the scariest one, Jupiter. This planet is an absolute nightmare, and is scary enough to just look at. Jupiter's a giant gas planet that is 1,300 times larger than Earth and is covered in violent storms, as I'm sure you already know. But really quickly, here are just a few of the ways Jupiter would absolutely mop the floor with you. Radiation exposure, dead. Atmospheric pressure, dead. 400 plus mile per hour winds, dead. Struck by lightning, dead. You overheat, dead. You freeze, dead. You decide to breathe, dead. But if Jupiter's not scary enough, our galaxy has many other horrific planets to choose from, like planets that constantly rain molten iron or molten glass, planets that are entirely covered in ice, planets that are entirely covered in lava, planets that are entirely covered in water, planets that are just completely dark, planets with giant hurricanes the size of Earth. Nope, that's just Jupiter again. I told you that place sucks.
I totally think that there's life outside of Earth, by the way. Maybe not like super hyper intelligent life, but I mean, he just said a number I'd never heard of before, and that's how many other planets are on the world. You're telling me there's not one other planet with life on it? I don't believe that for a second, especially considering like how easy life forms in water. All you need is water, and then life just appears. It's like magic.
6. Aliens. Ever since we were young, Hollywood has conditioned us to be scared of aliens. So it's no surprise that
You're
this
saying
one
that
would end
weird.
up on the list. Movies like Aliens, Signs, Predator,
I'm really not liking the way that he's saying aliens. Love the video though.
Cloverfield, The Thing, and of course The GOAT, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, all made aliens
What?
incredibly violent and terrifying. And when Hollywood finally attempted to create a friendly and relatable alien, all they got right was his body type. And it definitely worked. Scientists say that it's only a matter of time until we find the existence of aliens. But here's the thing, right? An alien or an
I'm gonna crash out soon if he says this a couple more times.
terrestrial being is simply just something that is living that didn't originate on Earth. So this could be something as small as bacteria, but if we're lucky, it could be a fish or mammal-like creature. But of course, this could be something infinitely more terrifying. And that's what makes this one so scary. We really don't know what's out there. Now, thankfully, we all know that first impressions are everything. So I'm hopeful that aliens will just take a quick look at Earth's orbit and decide not to visit, since we're obviously very dirty.
This might sound silly, but I actually do believe that humans are not that smart in the grand scheme of things, and that there very well could be other creatures that we cannot even perceive. For example, the way that ants look at humans, they don't acknowledge us. They don't know. Like, they're just walking around on the floor. We could literally be walking on top of them and they would like start freaking out, but they have no idea. You know what I'm saying? And I think it could be very possible that there's creatures that humans don't even realize are right here. They're right in our face. We have no idea.
Number 5. Gamma ray bursts. Gamma ray bursts are the most powerful explosions in the known universe, releasing more energy in a second than the sun would in a billion years. This can occur a few different ways, either when a star goes supernova, when two neutron stars collide and form a black hole, or when a black hole swallows a neutron star. These massive bursts of energy are 1,000,000 trillion times brighter than the sun and could last anywhere from 10 milliseconds to several hours. Now here's what makes them so scary. The light produced can't be seen by the naked eye. So if Earth were to be hit by one of these powerful gamma ray bursts, we would never see it coming.
Whoa.
And depending on how close the source of the gamma ray burst is, it would determine if life on Earth would survive. At a distance of 6,000 light years, it would cause mass extinction due to the deadly amounts of radiation.
Wait, if we can't see it and it's never happened, how do we even know that it's a thing at all?
Gamma ray bursts occurred further away but still managed to get a direct hit on us. It could still be catastrophic, since it would heavily damage all of our satellites and technology, shutting down the Wi-Fi. Now, thankfully, Earth is not really in danger of such an event, since our sun is far too small to produce this type of explosion. Instead, our sun will just grow so large that it slowly swallows the entire planet.
I thought of this thing. So in places in the Earth where it is always below freezing, it's always 0 degrees, for example, never, ever, ever goes over the freeze threshold throughout the entire year, right? Okay. Why does the snow not pile up to the sky? To the clouds? I know it sounds silly and it sounds stupid, but like the snow should never melt. How does it go away? And if you're thinking, oh, well, there's the summertime, dummy. Well, places like Antarctica don't even have summer. It's just freezing year round. It's always freezing, always. So why does the snow not pile up to the sky? Where does it go? Sorry for going on that rant, but I figured since we're doing a science-y video, some big brain science people might be watching this and they can help me out and understand that.
Colliding galaxies. With billions of galaxies traveling through the universe, some are bound to bump into one another. As a matter of fact, our galaxy will be one of them. The Milky Way is scheduled to crash into our neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy. But that collision won't be for another 4 to 5 billion years. Hopefully long after humans have left Earth and populated other planets. But let's talk about what makes colliding galaxies so scary. As the two galaxies begin to get close to one another, their gravitational pull will bring them together. Now, surprisingly, planets crashing into one another would be extremely rare, since galaxies are mostly empty space. But what would happen is planets would be rearranged and shuffled around, knocking them away from their current solar systems and creating new ones. So any planet with life on it might be stuck with a new neighbor. Here are a few galaxies that are currently merging as we speak. Number 3. Supernovas. Supernovas are the largest explosions that humans have ever seen. They can outshine their entire galaxy for a few days or even months, and can be seen across the universe. A supernova can occur a couple of different ways. The first one is when a massive star runs out of nuclear fuel and collapses, causing it to go supernova. The second is when a white dwarf star gains enough mass by siphoning it from another nearby star, causing it to collapse and explode. But let's talk about what makes supernovas so scary. When a star goes supernova, it obliterates everything in its path and is powerful enough to destroy all life on any planet within 30 to 50 light years. For perspective, our sun is only about 4.2 light hours away from our furthest planet, Neptune. Even though supernovas are one of the most deadly events in the known universe, easily obliterating every living thing in their way, at least they make great screensavers.
That's crazy. I did not know that. Isn't that how a lot of black holes are formed too? Is by like the collapsing of a star and then it gets so compact that a black hole is born from that? Totally might have made that up.
Number 2. Black holes. Black holes are easily one of the most terrifying things in the known universe. It's mostly due to the fact that we don't fully understand how they work. But here's what we do know. There are 2 different types. The first one is called a stellar mass black hole and is roughly 3 to 1,000 times the mass of our sun. These are created when a large star goes supernova and collapses in on itself, creating a black.
See, I get a lot of hate. A lot of people tell me, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're dumb, oh, your forehead big, oh, you have red hair, oh, you're Bet you didn't know I knew that. But he is right. Apparently, we still really have no idea what black holes even are. I don't even know if there's good, like, photo proof that they even exist. Some scientists even say that they don't even exist at all. Black holes break a lot of the rules that physicists go by.
The second type is a supermassive black hole and can be millions to billions of times the mass of our sun. Also, we have no idea how these black holes are formed. And when I say we, I mean, I couldn't find an answer using Google, got frustrated, and just came to the conclusion that the answer simply doesn't exist. But the most common theory I kept seeing is that a black hole must have swallowed another black hole, making it grow much larger.
It's like a Gario. And it's also theorized that in the center of every galaxy is a massive black hole. And that's why it all spirals around together, is because the black hole is in the core of it. And so that's what's like causing the gravitational pull for everything to swirl around it.
Anything I have learned while scripting this video, it's that astronomers and astrophysicists never give a simple answer to anything. So them resorting to the classic answer of you eat, you grow is quite comical, since I know firsthand that is not always the case. But with that out of the way, let's talk about what makes black holes so terrifying. Well, for starters, one of these supermassive black holes sits right at the center of our galaxy, gobbling up pieces of the Milky Way as we speak. Another reason why they're so creepy is simply for the fact that they are completely invisible. As I'm sure you know, this is because black holes have a force of gravity so strong that nothing can escape it, not even light. So the only way we can see where they are in the universe is by seeing how they interact with their surroundings. But the biggest reason why black holes are so high on the list is simply because we don't know what would happen if you were to enter one. Are they just wormholes? Or would you just get stretched out like a giant piece of spaghetti? I'm not kidding, that's the most agreed upon theory. They call it spaghettification. Or could it be a portal to an alternate dimension? We really don't know. Either way, all of these are absolutely terrifying.
I kind of said that too, like, scientists still have no idea what a black hole actually really is. And some literally don't even think that they exist. We're closer to having 0 answers to everything than all the answers to everything, I think.
Number 1, the size of the universe. Hands down, the most terrifying thing about the universe is its size. Just allow me to present my case. Does this image scare you? What about now? Exactly. Let me show you a few more illustrations before I rest my case. For simplicity's sake, let's start at ground level. This is you. You're probably in your room. Your room is in your home. Your home is here on Earth. Earth's home is in our solar system, which has 8 planets. Our solar system is part of the solar interstellar neighborhood.
I don't want to do this because I know it's just going to keep going and going, and this, like I said at the beginning, is really what freaks me out and keeps me up at night.
Which is part of the Milky Way galaxy, also home to at least 100 billion other planets. The Milky Way galaxy is part of the local galactic group, which is home to 3 other galaxies. The 3 galaxies are all inside of the Virgo supercluster, which has hundreds of galaxies and galaxy clusters. The Virgo supercluster is part of the local superclusters, The local superclusters sit right at the center of the entire observable universe, which spans 93 billion light years wide. But it doesn't end there. This is just what we can see with the current technology we have, and we have no idea how much larger the universe is or if there's even an end to it. But of course, this doesn't stop us from speculating on its size or what could potentially be out there. Are there alien civilizations far more advanced than ours? Or alternate realities with infinite possibilities? Or maybe we're all just plugged into a computer, a simulation. After all, would this not be the best time in our known history to simulate? Or maybe Earth is flat and just like birds, space is not real, so none of this really matters. I guess in the end, it turns out that the scariest thing about the universe is not really up in space, but instead lives here inside of our imaginations.
As scary as all of those things are in the universe, what if I told you that there was something even scarier here on Earth? I'm talking about nuclear bombs. What would happen if every single nuclear bomb exploded at the same time? I can't imagine anything good, but let's find out.
What if we made a big pile of bombs and exploded every nuclear weapon in the world all at once? Strangely enough, we couldn't find a good source to answer this question to our satisfaction. So,
well, I think like most of the bombs and nuclear stuff is pretty public. I'm pretty sure like the different countries have to tell each other how much nuclear power they have. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong because these guys are geniuses and I am a stupid idiot that hates myself, and I curl up in a ball at night and suck my thumb and wrinkle my toes until I fall asleep. That's crazy.
we gathered together a few scientists to calculate what would happen and find an answer to this extremely important scientific problem once and for all. Currently, there are 15,000 nuclear weapons on Earth. The US
That
and
is
Russia
so
both
much.
have around 7,000, while France, China, the UK, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea own around 1,000 between them.
Wait, Russia has more nuclear bombs than the US? Hold on. Wait, what? I thought the US was like way far ahead than any other country. You know what's funny though is I'm pretty sure the US and I would imagine Russia, we tell every other country that they're not allowed to build any nuclear bombs, yet we're the ones with all of them. But like if another country, I don't know, like Iraq, for example, wants to build a nuclear bomb, the US with 7,000 of them says, no, you're not allowed to build that one nuclear bomb. I mean, I guess I get it because, we don't want a nuclear war to happen, but I just find it ironic that we built 7,000 of them, and then when other countries try to, we're like, nah, actually, no way, Jose.
But how much destructive power is this really? Let's try to put these numbers into perspective.
I do have a feeling, so beep, bop, boop. Sorry, you can't not beep, bop, boop when the beep, bop, boop comes on. But anyway, nuclear bombs, though, I don't know. I don't think that the explosion itself is that devastating. What is devastating is the radioactivity that is produced by it. So, like, the initial explosion might have a radius of, like, half a mile, which is huge, don't get me wrong. But what really causes catastrophic damage is all of, like, the chemicals and all the nuclear particles that get spread out for miles and miles, and that is what does crazy damage.
On Earth, there are about 4,500 cities or urban areas with at least 100,000 inhabitants.
That's a lot.
Some
That's more
are
than I
bigger than
thought.
others, so we'll assume that on average we need 3 nuclear bombs to completely wipe out one city. This means we could destroy every single city on planet Earth with our nuclear arsenal, killing more than 3 billion people, roughly half of humanity, in an instant. And we'd still have 1,500 nuclear weapons left. Now that's what an expert would call overkill.
I'm not gonna lie, I always thought like one nuclear bomb would be able to destroy even like the biggest of cities, but I guess not. I guess on average it would take 3. And also, there's only 3 billion people living in cities. I thought that was gonna be way higher too. That's crazy.
So we can say with confidence that we have a lot of nuclear weapons and they can do a lot of damage. But what if we make a huge pile of all 15,000 bombs and
they
pull
all
the
explode
trigger?
at once.
Let's drop our nuclear pile in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, just to show nature who's boss. Our warheads, piled haphazardly, fit into a small warehouse. A typical US warhead has the power of 200,000 tons of TNT. So 15,000 warheads would be the equivalent of 3 billion
Oh
tons
my
of TNT.
god. Bro, I feel like if you blew that up, it might not affect like the other side of the Earth, but there must be like earthquakes that happen. That might even like shift all of Earth and push it off of its orbit a little bit. I don't know. Dude, that is insane. 3 billion tons of TNT. Bruh.
Scale, this is enough to rebuild the whole island of Manhattan with every building and skyscraper using stacks of TNT. The closest thing we can compare to the energy gathered here is a volcano. One of the deadliest volcanic eruptions in recorded history took place in 1883 on the island of Krakatoa. The eruption was so powerful.
Krakatoa? Who named that? And was like, someone probably stubbed their toe on that volcano and cracked their toe. Krakatoa. Sorry. Apparently, though, volcanoes are actually very dangerous, like the biggest ones. I always thought like, volcano, potato, patata, you know, all the same thing. Because there are some civilizations that live like right next to volcanoes that erupt, and it's like not that big a deal. But then there are other volcanoes that are like massive volcanoes that only erupt like once every like 100,000 years. And apparently those can actually change like the entire climate of the Earth. And this seems to be one of them.
That 70% of the island and the surrounding archipelago was destroyed, killing tens of thousands of people.
That's
Its effects
insane.
were felt around the world for days after the event. Our nuclear pile contains 15 times the energy of the Krakatoa volcanic eruption.
God.
So let's finally push the button.
Bro.
3, 2, 1. In a second, a fireball 50 kilometers across vaporizes everything in its way and creates a blast wave that flattens 3,000 square kilometers of forest. Every living thing within 250 kilometers will start to burn. The explosion will be heard literally around the world as the pressure wave circles the Earth tens of times over the next few weeks. Millions of tons of incinerated material are catapulted into the atmosphere. The mushroom cloud reaches the outer reaches of the stratosphere, pushing up against space itself. After things have calmed down, a small crater, about 10 kilometers across, is left in the center of the worst wildfires the planet has seen in millennia, spreading throughout South America, burning down forests and cities alike.
It actually just looks like a meteor. Like, I know that might sound silly, but that's kind of like the exact same thing as a meteor hitting Earth. It's just one big explosion. I mean, obviously, the meteor is an impact explosion, while that one just explodes. But the crater looks the same. The effects look the same. I guess the only thing that's different is I don't know if... Probably not. When a meteor hits, like, there's no, like, giant smoke cloud, mushroom cloud, like the TNT. That's, like, the only difference, really.
And now, the unpleasant part begins. Extremely radioactive material will kill living things very quickly, and a large area several kilometers around the crater is now uninhabitable, as is everywhere for hundreds of kilometers downwind. Much of the fallout is carried high into the atmosphere by the mushroom cloud and carried around the planet.
Whoever made this video, Kurzig Yacht, clearly has a problem with South America. They went right after them. No, I'm kidding. I'm not trying to start any beef. I'm not starting no beef. I'm just saying they picked South America.
The amount of radioactive material in the environment doubles worldwide, which still isn't civilization ending, but we may see more cancer for a while. A portion of the particles will float to the edge of space for years and cause
That's not that bad. All we gotta do is say goodbye to South America, and then it's like, all right, cool, we good. We move on. I'm sorry, if you live in South America, I've never been, but seems alright.
a nuclear winter that could lower global temperatures by a few degrees for a few years. This explosion was pretty bad if you're in South America and especially Brazil.
Hit it.
The Amazon rainforest
Jesus.
is pretty much history, which is not great. But human life will go on. Okay, but what if we explode more nuclear weapons? Let's suppose humanity decided to mine every bit of uranium on Earth and build as many nuclear bombs as possible.
Oh, God.
At current usage, it's estimated that there are around 35 million tons of uranium in Earth's crust.
I'm assuming is that all that's required to make a nuclear bomb is uranium? I don't even know that. Where's the most uranium in the world? Probably like Uranus. But that's not even in the world. Whatever. That was a stupid comment.
Enough to power human civilization for over 2,000 years, or to build millions of nuclear warheads. For the sake of argument, let's say we create a pile with a yield of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs, which makes up a cube 3 kilometers high that contains roughly the energy of the asteroid impact that ended the age of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago.
You would be able to see that stack of bombs from Earth, I think. That's ridiculous. That was a ridiculous amount of bombs. Oh my God.
And look, he's talking about how it's similar to the asteroid that ended Earth earlier from like 200 million years ago. That's kind of what I said a little bit, in that it's similar to a meteor / asteroid hitting Earth.
Except it's also nuclear.
It's even worse
3,
then.
2,
Oh my
1.
god.
Our pile explodes in a fireball
Oh,
stretching
poor
so
birdie.
high into the sky that it's visible from half of South America, with so much power that the ground just splashes like water, forming a crater
Oh
100
my
kilometers across.
god. The crater is 100 kilometers across. Bro.
Bedrock on the scale of whole mountain ranges is vaporized in an instant, while thousands of tons of material
it's
is
over.
catapulted
Earth
away
is done.
with such
Earth
speed
is over.
that it's ejected into
Humans
space.
dead.
Some leaves Earth forever, while most of it comes raining down as hot, burning debris that heats up the atmosphere to oven-like temperatures, killing
GG?
most big animals
GG?
and causing firestorms all
GG,
over
elephant.
the world.
If elephants are dying, we're all dead. That's gotta be a fact. If elephants are going down, we're all down. We're all done. The only thing that might be able to survive are like cockroaches. Wow. I'm glad that stutter could have been way worse, but it wasn't. I kind of saved it. Cockroaches might survive. Another like really small insect / bacteria, and then the whole like evolution process would have to start again.
The Earth's crust rings like a bell, struck by global earthquakes stronger than anything in recorded history, decimating cities around the world, while hurricane-force winds flatten every single tree in South America and wildfires consume the continent. The abundance of hydrocarbons in the Amazon burned to form ash are cast into the atmosphere, darting the sky and keeping sunlight from reaching the surface, dropping temperatures to near freezing worldwide. The ensuing global winter may last for decades and results
Oh
in the
my
extinction
God.
of every large animal species, humans included.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the biggest reason that the asteroid impact from forever ago eliminated all the dinosaurs and such, was not necessarily because of the impact itself, but because of the cloud that covered the entire Earth. So, like, no sunlight came in, which made the Earth very cold, which made it very difficult for plants to grow because there was no sun, so they couldn't get any photosynthesis. And so, thus, then, a lot of things starved to death.
We could also mention that every corner of the planet is covered with radioactive fallout, but at this point, it doesn't matter that much anymore.
Oh,
This is humanity's extinction event.
I called that!
The astronauts aboard the International Space Station get to enjoy a great view for a while, but it's not unlikely that the spray of rocks blast into orbit will destroy the station.
GG.
Those lucky enough to be in bunkers or in submarines deep below the ocean surface may survive the longest before they exhaust their food supplies and have to venture out for more.
Oh yeah, would all fish be all right? Or like deep sea fish surely would be okay, right? I think that they'd be fine.
They'll find the world a charred, freezing, radioactive wasteland. The planet itself doesn't care at all. After just a few million years, the wounds of the explosions have healed and life is thriving, arguably even more so than when humans were around. If intelligent life emerges again, it might be able to work out what happened. When they study geology, they'll find a bizarre and very thin layer of rock covering the entire world, enriched in radioactive elements like uranium and the other nasty things it decays to, mixed with rare earth metals and plastics that humans used. They would probably be very, very confused.
Whoa, that is crazy. Then we become the dinosaurs of today. Bro, that is a very crazy thought to think about. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy today's video and want me to react to some more Kurza videos, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and click right here.